All right, what's up and what's going on? This is Alex again, coming in with another one on a Sunday. Not playing poker today, relaxing. And this one is called Just Because We're Friends, right? Does not mean we are friends once we sit at the poker table. You hear me? Just because we are friends does not mean we are friends once we sit at the poker table. Me and my wife, right? We came to the conclusion that we just finally told ourselves, look, just play. Just play poker. No matter what, just play. So when we're at the table, we don't know each other, right? If I got a hand and I bet, she will raise. If I feel that her raise is a better hand decision made by her over mine, then I'll fold, right? But if I feel I got opportunity, that I'm going to get this, then I will bet. And we just live with it. We came to those terms. And that is as real as it can get when you're talking about a husband and wife. Now, what about friends? What about friends? That's kind of different, but it could be on the same level as well, because friends aren't forever, right? Anything can break up a friendship. But when it comes to poker, some players, and I've seen this, I think I've seen it more though with poker players that don't have the money to lose, right? And they can sit at the table and they think because they know you that when it's just you two, then you're supposed to check it down. Again, y'all, if you're going to play this game, you better realize that all gloves are off. Take the gloves off. Take the gloves off. Boxers, basketball players, football stars, hockey players, track runners, anything you can imagine that is competition. Just because we know each other does not mean once we get in that ring, right, that I'm going to act like we friends. No, I'm there to destroy you. I'm not going to kill you, right? We're not going that far. We're just talking about in the competition. In the competition, I don't know you. So I know I can say it because I'm not going to get upset that you beat me, because I'm going to do the same thing to you if the opportunity arises, right? If that opportunity comes for me to strike, I'm going to strike. And the reason why I'm going to strike, why would I pass up a hand that's going to get me paid well, and just because it happens to be you, I'm going to sacrifice and not try to win as much money as I can off that hand? I'm not going to stop betting. I'm going to keep firing away. And I would expect you to do the same thing, because I know what I'm there for. I came up there to crush. You just happen to be there the same day I came, and you happen to sit at the table that they got me sitting at with you, and we just happen to be friends. But when those cards get dealt and I get my hand, you get your hand, everybody folds, and it's just me and you, I'm not checking it down. I've made that mistake before. And I could have won a big pot. It could have came from that person. It don't matter. But I didn't do it. I just checked it down. I learned to stop doing those type of deals, because you don't get opportunity like that on a poker table every day. It just doesn't happen. Some days you walk into a poker room, you can be there all day and you're just there and your card dead for hours and hours, right? And let's say you finally do get a hand and everybody fold. Guess what? You just missed your opportunity. You seen everybody winning a lot of money, right? And then you finally get a hand that can win you a lot of money, and everybody's betting before it gets to you. Let's say you're in the blind, right? And you get pocket aces. Everybody, for some reason, fold. We've seen this happen before. Everybody folds. It gets around to so-and-so. He folds, and then what happens? You and the other person, small blind, big blind, wind up chopping it up. Wind up chopping it up because you just say, okay, it's just us two. Throw your hand in, you want to chop it up. Yep, chop it up. And then you turn over your aces. And everybody like, oh, remember that? You see and you hear that kind of stuff. So that happens in poker, man. That is the reason why you don't let opportunities slip and get away, right? Even if it's somebody you know, you don't. If that person has to be the one that's going to have to take that hit, so be it. Hopefully they realize and understand. But I've had players in the past that I know that sitting at the table with them, and they think just because we know each other. And for the most part, we automatically do it. We automatically check it down. And you'll see players say, I'll check it, I'll check it, I'll check it. Then turn over their hand, they had kings, they had aces, had a chance to crush that person, but they didn't do it because they're friends. On the poker table, you cannot be that way. You'll learn in the long run how much money you lose when you had opportunity to gain and you let it slip right through your hands because that person's your friend. So it's hard to do for most of us, but as you get more and more into, I got a person I play with, no matter how cool we are, man, if I bet that man, and he the one kind of taught me this, I'm not here to be your friend in poker. I'll be your friend in sport conversation. I'll be your friend in talking about life. But in poker, no, I'm not here to be your friend on the poker table. This opportunity only comes once so often. You just happen to be the person that is in front of me when it happens. So, hey, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry because I'm here to get it. Yesterday, we had a perfect example of this. There's a guy that was playing. His business, he the one decided to do it. Flop comes out, 3 clubs. I got the ace of club in my hand, right? A lot of times, poker players know this. If somebody bets and goes over the top, either they already have it or they have the nut draw opportunity. That's the only reason they do it, right? So, I'm first to act, and I bet 75. Everybody fold except him. He calls the 75. He doesn't even have a flush. I know if the flush comes, I win. He is a person that plays the game well enough to know where I'm at. Either I got the flush or I got the flush draw opportunity, and I'm putting 75 out there because all I'm saying is if this next card hits, I win. If I hit it already, I win. That's why I'm betting 75. You get it? So instead of him folding, he calls. River card comes out. No, this is on the flop, 75. Turn card comes out, and I'm ready to fire again, right? So I reach for my chips. He just automatically in front of me shoves all in, right? Like he's trying to do a move to make me back up. I already made my move. My chips are going in. I just said how much. And then they said how much it was, right? And so I said, okay, I'll bet that. And put them all in. Card, he said, what did he say? He said, I can't believe you're betting that much on a short table, right? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I didn't even hear that. That didn't even register yet till after the fact. He said, I can't believe you bet that much on a short table. And he's making it say that if he loses, he's not rebuying. And guess what? The table just got short again, right? He's trying to act like he came in as a fill-in. I don't know why he was there. I seen him in civilian clothes. So he was off that day. So if he wins, he takes my chips. You get what I'm saying? No reason to say what you said. All you had to do is fold. When I put that 75 out there, you should have already read between the lines and let it go. You called the 75 on the flop. Turn card came out, right? And it was a blank. I was going to fire again. Instead of you letting me do it and then fold, you shoved as I'm doing it. And then I looked over and said, how much is it? And when they told me how much it was, I said, okay, I'll call that. Even though I know I'm first to act, I just matched the stack. And sure enough, a club binked on the river. Gave me the ace high flush. Worked out in my favor. He got up, he didn't say anything. He didn't say nice hand, he didn't say nothing. He just got up and walked away. Now, I can't do anything about that. But that's my whole point. You cannot be on a poker table and act like because you know somebody that even for that situation, to keep that table from breaking, I don't care. If I decide to stay there and wait till the other players get here, then we just put it on pause, right? If he's feeling that him getting up is going to shorten the table again, if people say, hey, I don't want to play with the amount we got, then we put the game on pause. It's in the middle of the day. We know somebody is coming sooner or later. They got TVs. Hey, hit the volume, cut the volume up. We watching tennis. We watching the female softball game, all kind of things that keep us going, right? Plus, we got nothing but guys sitting up there, so we talking about life and we talking about sports. So that's easy to rectify that situation and take up that space for the time being. No big deal. But this is why I say, if he called me, he wasn't calling me because he thought he felt that he was going to keep the table from breaking. He's calling me because he actually thought that I was on the draw. He's a good reader. He's a good reader. He already knows if I bet that 75, 9 times out of 10, why would I bet? Unless I'm on a draw. Right? I'm not going to bet 75 on that flush if I flopped it. I'm going to let them do the betting for me. I was first to act. Once I did that, 3 to 4 people went away. And when it got to him, that is when he decided to call. Because he's a good reader. He knew I was on a draw. He didn't think I was going to hit that flush. And when I hit it, he lost. I just had a funny feeling I was going to hit it. I just had a funny feeling that it was coming. And I stayed with my gut. And I put the 75 out there. And then when that turn card came, we got it all in. And I banked that club on the 5th. And that was it. That's a wrap. But he knew I was on a draw. And that's why he got up and just walked off. Because he knew I was on a draw. And he turned his hand over and he looked at the dealer. Like, really? That is what? See, he had a hand. He had a hand. And he knew I was on a draw. He knew if I missed that club that he wins. That's the real reason he called. Because like I said, he's a good player. But this is the reason why you don't give friends, or what you call so-called friends, the opportunity to make you miss money. Right? Now, I could have just checked it down all the way. Hit my club and get whatever's in that pot. And he's still sitting there with his chips. That's not what I'm there for. And I hope that's not what you're there for, because I don't fear losing my chips to players, right? I just don't. If they beat me, I say good call, man. Good hand, whatever, because you have to. You cannot get upset and feel, man, really? You knew you had it and you still put me in anyway? That's how we're doing it, right? Because you do have players that do that. They do that. I've seen couples argue at the table, not me and mine, right? We already established, we already said it. We already know what time it is, and we just let it go. But I've seen couples on the table almost get into an argument, not on a high level where we got to sit up there and say, call the floor and all that kind of stuff. No, we're just saying that I've seen it where, especially the husband, if he beats the wife is already thinking that, I can't believe you did that. That's what you're doing. Where you sleeping at tonight when we get home and all that kind of stuff. And I think sometimes it's all in fun, but I've seen sometimes where you look at somebody and you say, I think she's serious. I think she's really upset about that hand, right? Especially if that person got caught up with them. That's the other one. Now, if they just beat them, I think they understand it. But if they call for something and it's against a spouse or against a girlfriend or whatever, just to catch it, then I think that's when I've seen it go to another level. But yeah, you cannot, the grind is real. It just is. In poker, the grind is real. And when you sit down at that table, man, you can shake hands when you walk in that door, like the old story goes about the sheepdog and the coyote. If you're familiar with cartoons back in the days, this is an old school cartoon, and they both arrive to clock in. And once they clock in, it's work time. The coyote's trying to get the sheep. The sheepdog is beating the coyote butt. And when they get done and it's time to go check out and clock out, the coyote face is all beat down, his ears all bent over and everything like that. And then they just say, hey, have a nice day. I'll see you tomorrow. Right? That is the moral of the story. I don't know you once we get on the table. I just don't. And until you really understand that, you will always be a player that'll be passive when you have opportunity and you missed it because you have somebody that you associate with on the table, right? If you look at it as competition, hey, then you're in the right path. You're in the right lane to be in because that's what it is. Regardless if you know the person or not, it's competition. And you are there because you don't know when you're going to see that type of hand again. And when the opportunity comes for you to get chips, you better take that opportunity and get it, even if it's somebody you know. So with that said, I'm out. Y'all be good. Peace.